The night before the wedding, Julian's first love, Blair, posted a photo on Instagram of a sapphire and diamond ring. I glanced at the picture. It was my bridal ring, the only one of its kind in the world, designed by my own hand. And now it was on her finger. I thought it over all night. The next morning I calmly broke up with him. Julian's face was blank. Avery, we're getting married in 2 weeks. Think carefully, don't do something you'll regret. I won't regret it. Later, Julian drunk dialed me in the middle of the night. Avery, where are you? I can't find you in the house. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and comment to let us know where you're listening from. After I saw Blair's post, I told Julian it was over. He froze. Break up? We're getting married in 2 weeks, invitation sent, and you pick now? I didn't answer. Instead I pulled the itemized list I'd already prepared from my Birkin and spread it in front of him. Yes, break up. I don't want anything from you, just to be apart. At 24 I got engaged to 27-year-old Julian and moved into the Hamptons estate with him. I'd always assumed the wedding was a done deal, so during the 2 years we lived together I accepted every Birkin, every piece of jewelry, every share and deed he gave me. Now that we were splitting, we would have to account for them. Julian flipped a few pages without the slightest change of expression and set the list aside. Reason? He paused, then added, because Blair wore your ring? I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was the bridal one. I've told my assistant to pick it up, you'll have it back soon. His tone was still calm, but I couldn't suppress the fury rising inside me. I had spent half a year handcrafting that ring. It embodied my heart and my dream of love. After I finished it I couldn't bear to wear it myself. I kept it in the home safe, waiting for our wedding day. Yet only 2 weeks after I left town the ring had somehow been scooped out and present to Blair. Heaven knows how devastated I was when I saw it on her hand. Now he brushed it off with an I didn't know. Did he really not know? Could an I didn't know erase every wrong? I shouted, enough. This time it's the wedding ring, what's next? Am I supposed to hand over my place as sterling to her? Since that's the case, I might as well step aside gracefully and make room. At that, he lifted his eyes, displeased, as if he couldn't grasp why I was so upset. He lectured me. Avery, there's no need for jealousy. You know perfectly well this marriage is more about interests than love. No one can shake your position as sterling. I'll forgive you this once. Don't bring up splitting again. Just behave and play the role. He took out a card and slid it across the table. There's 5 million in there, as compensation. I stared coldly at the card, lost in thought. Julian handled everything like a business deal, including our marriage. At the start he'd been distant. Once we grew familiar he began issuing requirements, grooming me into the model society wife. What he forgot was that a trophy wife only needed poise and pedigree, but as the woman who loved him I wanted his heart. So I couldn't stay ice cold like him, and I refused to accept a third party in our future. Besides, Blair was the girl Julian had pined for as a teenager. A tear landed on the back of my hand. Coming back to myself, I wiped it away, pushed the card back, and smiled. No need, Sterling. We're not right for each other, breaking up is best. No one ever turned Julian down twice. The finance prince was used to adoration and pride. When I repeated my decision he didn't hesitate. Fine. Don't come crying later. What's given is given, I'm hardly strapped for cash. I took back the inventory, and pocketed the card as well. Deal. No regrets. I booked movers, it might get noisy, sorry for the bother. Julian lit a cigarette, expression neutral. No problem. With that I turned away, phoned the crew, and let them in. Pack anything clearly meant for a woman. In the bedroom I locked every jewel inside the safe, then warned the men, careful, fragile items inside. 3 hours later the estate looked empty. I glanced back at the place I'd lived for 3 years. In my side vision Julian leaned against the doorway, head lowered, his face unreadable. I meant to leave without farewell, but Blair arrived. She rushed over, teary, catching my hand. Yates, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize the ring meant that much. I just thought it beautiful and asked Julian for it. You have so many rings, unlike me, who has nothing. I assumed you wouldn't mind. Don't be angry, I'll return it right now. She tugged at the band, but only managed to redden her finger. I laughed in disgust. This was no apology, just deliberate provocation. A sincere sorry wouldn't have paraded into my house flashing my bridal ring. The performance was clearly for an audience. Sure enough, Julian strode over. He took her hand, heartache written on his face. Stop, you'll hurt yourself. Avery, I'll buy it back, 3 million. Blair gazed up, touched, eyes shining with devotion. Facing them, watching their intimacy, I felt my eyes sting. Not for sale. I designed that ring for myself, get it off her finger now. Julian frowned. Blair clung to his arm, saintly. Julian, it belongs to Yates, I really should give it back. She went to the powder room, soaped her hand, and finally slid the ring off, handing it over. The moment I saw it I saw red. You resized it? She shrank behind Julian. It was too big, so I had it altered. Sorry, I'll find a jeweler and change it back. I lost control and slapped her. It's already been cut smaller, how do you reverse that? Blair, you're disgusting. Avery, Julian roared, stepping between us, shielding her. You've gone too far. I gave her the ring, blame me if you must. I met his stare, remembering the real culprit, and slapped him as well. His face darkened thunderously. I find you ally revolting. Both of you, get out of my life. I strode out with the movers, their expressions irrelevant. After I moved, my best friend Summer came to help unpack. The instant I saw her the dam broke, I sobbed on her shoulder. Summer, the ring I spent 6 months on, that bitch wore it. Cursing nonstop, she patted my back. Okay, breathe. I'll make you a new ring, promise. When the tears finally stopped, the apartment was still chaos. I wiped my face and began sorting. Inside the safe everything was jumbled. The jadeite bangle Julian had given me as an engagement gift lay shattered, high ice translucent splintered like our relationship. Julian and I had been Sterling's arrangement. Margot and Sterling were college besties. Ever since I was little mom dragged me over to play. Sterling adored me on sight, joking I should be her daughter-in-law, telling Julian to take care of me. Our family wasn't as prominent, so mom urged me to keep Julian happy. But he was distant. Most afternoons we sat in separate corners doing our own thing. Still, little me adored that cold, handsome prince. I thought he'd stay detached forever, until, at 17, he met Blair. They'd had a whirlwind campus romance. No one could believe that Julian, raised from birth to be the perfect Sterling heir, would cut class and throw punches for Blair. Uncle Sterling tried to force them apart by threatening to ship him overseas. But Julian had stared his father down and said, Blair is the light of my life. I won't want anyone else. Yet Blair's family background was a mess. Her mother had been the mistress of some nouveau riche magnate, making Blair the illegitimate daughter. The Sterlings would never let a girl like that through the front door. So Eleanor took matters into her own hands, $3 million and a first-class ticket to any foreign university Blair chose, in exchange for walking away. Blair accepted, took the money, and disappeared. From that day forward, Julian hated his mother. He drifted for 6 months, then, out of nowhere, pulled himself together the spring before college applications were due and became the old Julian again. Only he never let his family get close after that. When I was 23, I still don't know what made him finally agree to see how things go with me. We dated, got engaged, moved in together. Now he's on top, CEO of Sterling, the undisputed head of the family, and his first love is back in Manhattan. Of course he's racing to pick up where they left off. Tears fell, one after another. I picked up the bracelet and dropped it in the trash. Hesitate and you'll only hurt yourself. Better to cut the knot clean. The next morning, Summer and I bought last-minute tickets to. I'll spare you the Chinese, Sonia, the tropical party island where New Yorkers go when they need to erase memories. The beaches heal you, so does whatever lives under all that turquoise. We were lying on striped loungers, letting the sun glue our eyelids shut, when my phone pinged with a friend request. I knew it was Blair. Sure enough, after I'd blocked her main account she'd made a new one. The second I accepted, a photo popped up, my custom sapphire bridal ring on her manicured finger, captioned with pure smugness. Sterling, it looks like Julian cares more about me. At the exact same moment, Summer shrieked, lunged across the sand, and shoved her screen in my face. Avery, look at this shameless bitch. I took the phone. Blair had just posted on Instagram, red-rimmed eyes, a diamond the size of a gumball on her left hand, and the caption, knew you'd never let me suffer even a little. Overseas, she'd become a mid-tier influencer with a devoted following. Her comment section was already a sewer of heart-eye emojis and guesses about the mystery man. Summer, never one to lurk, dived straight into the mud. How do you flaunt being a mistress? Your mom was a side piece and now you're following the family business, homewrecker DNA? Apple doesn't fall honey. Better fix that nose before it snaps off. I borrowed her phone, clicked into Blair's profile. Every photo screamed Julian. The earliest was Valentine's Day, 6 months ago. Julian watching fireworks at Coney Island with her. Something sharp stabbed under my ribs. That night he and I were supposed to have dinner. I'd come down with the flu, fever burning the sheets. When I told him, all he said was, "I'll cancel the reservation. Rest," and hung up. No follow-up text, no chicken soup. I'd assumed work swallowed him, instead he was feeding cotton candy to Blair. I'd known for months our relationship was cracked. When Blair flew back at New Year's, Julian started vanishing inside his own head. I fought, begged, cried, he answered with silence, then a new Birkin, then more silence. I'd been drowning in that cycle half a year. I powered the phone down and exhaled. Let the tide pull the anger out to sea. Whatever Julian and Blair did now had nothing to do with me. A week later my mother, having heard through the gossip hotline that Julian and I were done, rang me from Long Island. She talked for an hour. "Don't be petulant. Men like Julian come with accessories. The crown of sterling is worth a few broken fingernails." I felt myself shrinking. "But, Mom, I've loved Julian for 12 years. It hurts. I can't share him." Silence answered me. Then a male voice, Julian's, filled the line. "It's not what you think. Come home and I'll explain." He paused, voice softer. "Avery, you're the only one I want by my side." I flew back the next morning, not for Julian, but because Eleanor asked. She'd always treated me like the daughter she'd never had, and I couldn't bear to disappoint her. Julian was on the living room sofa, sipping tea while Bloomberg murmured on the flat screen. Eleanor curled my fingers in hers. "Avery, did Julian upset you again? Tell me, I'll scold him." I glanced at him, he looked unruffled, swallowing tea. He hadn't told her? I swallowed too. Aunt Eleanor, W. EVE broken up. A porcelain shriek, Julian's cup scraping the table, cut the air. He turned, expression blank. "You're serious? And what happens to your family's company?" Eleanor gasped. "Avery, why must it be so final?" I squeezed my hands together and smiled. "We're just not right for each other. Thank you, Julian, for supporting our firm all this time. From now on, we'll manage on our own." I just landed, Aunt Eleanor. I should head home. I'll visit soon. Back in our modest Westchester house, my mother hurled a teacup that shattered at my feet. "What's wrong with you? I told you, other women don't matter as long as you're the legal wife. Stop being petty." I pressed my lips shut. "We own a small women's apparel business, comfortable, not Forbes list." She'd dressed me in organza and piano lessons since kindergarten, grooming me like a racehorse aimed at one finish line, a last name like Sterling, Van Allen, or Kennedy. Seeing me mute, she groaned, "There goes my ticket to the charity ball circuit. All those brunches wasted." She collapsed onto the sofa, bosom heaving. I moved behind her, massaging her temples. "Mom, I'm done swallowing my pride." She exhaled at length. Julian was the cleanest man in that cesspool. Watching her deflate, I felt my heart fold. She might be a social climber, but she's my climber. "Mom, I'll work hard and buy you boxes at the Met myself." She snorted, the storm cloud lifting. "With your zero tolerance for pain? Good luck." I didn't mention how much I'd learned shadowing Julian. Next morning I marched into our family office. 1 month later I registered my own microbrand. We'd always produced staid women's suits. I pivoted to affordable luxury statement pieces. Shopping trips Julian had bankrolled trained my eye. I can spot cut-rate cashmere at 20 paces. In month 3, a winter coat on my livestream studio sold out in 40 minutes. Orders exploded, then came the panic call. The sewing contractor couldn't hit the quantity. Missed delivery. Dates and returns avalanche, a newborn brand can drown in one weekend. I phoned the factory owner. He stammered that maybe I'd offended someone. "Who?" That night, scrolling in bed, I found Blair wearing our near-identical coat, purchase link in her bio. Fury crackled through me. I rang Julian at midnight. "Control your trash fire, girlfriend." When I finished, he answered, calm as ever. "Blair's choices aren't mine, but I can solve this for you, Avery. All you have to do is come home." I laughed myself hoarse. "Go to hell, and take your mother with you." Yet Julian's call came through again. I hung up, he rang back, over and over. "What do you want?" My savage tone made him pause. "Avery, I'm right outside your building. Come down. Let's talk." I went downstairs. He was leaning against his car, smoking. When he saw me he straightened and stubbed the cigarette out. Impatient, I snapped, "Talk about what?" He looked worn, pinching the bridge of his nose. "Avery, Blair and I are ancient history, there's nothing left between us. Stop tormenting yourself, it's poisoning what we have." I stared at him coldly. "What exactly do we have? The kind where I'm running a 104-degree fever on Valentine's Day while you watch fireworks with Blair? Or the kind where you give my custom sapphire bridal ring to Blair?" Now that I've handed you to her on a platter, you're suddenly not happy? At that, Julian lit another cigarette in silence. You know, she was the girl I loved most. I only wanted closure with the past. Am I not even allowed to mourn it? The ring was my mistake. I'm sorry. I apologize. Come back, Avery. I can't get used to life without you. Julian's eyes were downcast, an actual bowed head, unheard of for him. While Avery had been gone, the Hamptons estate had felt hollow. Each time he came home he no longer saw her bright smile, no longer heard her gentle greeting. When they were together he'd never noticed. Once she left, loneliness chilled him, and the empty room scared him so. Yuki dreaded returning. Only where Avery was could feel like home. All I felt was disgust. Julian moved through business like a blade, yet in love he dragged like wet wool. He was wrapped in solitude now, looking genuinely broken. Maybe he finally understood he'd erred, but so what? I'd sent him photos of the ring. He knew it was the bridal band I'd designed. It had stayed in the bedroom safe. Still, he'd brought Blair into our home, into our bedroom. He'd watched while Blair slipped the ring onto her finger. For a second he must have remembered their old sweetness, so he'd let her walk off with it. Or maybe he'd offered the ring himself, feeling some teenage regret. Either scenario was intolerable. Both proved he and Blair were still entangled. So what did that make me? You and Blair were supposedly over long ago. Why keep grieving once you're with me? Julian, you're proud and arrogant. You were sure Blair would never dump you, yet she took your money and vanished. All these years you've never let go. You hate her and you love her. At 27 you decided you'd moved on, so you proposed to me. But the moment she reappeared your eyes followed her. You were already engaged to me, yet you still let her get close. Now that you two are rebooting your romance, what am I supposed to be? I was openly grieving. Julian panicked. He reached out and pulled me into his arms. His explanation came pale and weak. No, that's not it. I've never wanted us apart. Whether it was true no longer mattered. I shoved him hard. Control Blair. Keep her disgusting face away from me or I'll lose my temper. And don't ever show up in front of me again. Julian's eyes reddened, full of bewilderment. Avery, you've changed. You used to love me so much. I looked straight at him. You said it yourself, that was then. I haven't changed, I just don't like you anymore. Julian's body froze, he stumbled away as if he'd lost his soul. Next day the Sterling Heirs official announcement hit the trending list. Blair posted on Instagram and even sent me cozy hand-holding photos, purely to nauseate me. I ignored her, so she came to the company. Well, if it isn't Sterling, long time no see. I chose another table and sat down with her. What do you want? She smiled pampered and slow, set her Birkin down, then ordered 2 coffees. I heard you're starting a business. Julian gave me some pocket money and I'm bored. Why don't you sell your little company to me for fun? My blood pressure rocketed. The firm I'd built from scratch, she wanted it as a toy? If there's nothing else, I'm going back to work. I stood, she clutched my sleeve with faux innocence. Ah, don't be mad. Actually, I just wondered how you took care of Julian, he can't seem to forget you. I kept silent. She rose, shameless, and leaned in. Did you sleep with him? How was it? I had him in high school, took plenty of effort to train him back then. Consider it my gift to you. Have you finished? Unable to bear another syllable, I picked up my coffee and flung it at her. Ah, Blair dripped brown liquid, yet grinned in triumph, mouthing, you're dead. Avery, what are you doing? Julian. The next second Julian strode in. He yanked Blair into his arms and glared at me like I was a threat. Avery, we agreed to part civilly. Why are you harassing Blair? I tried to leave, Julian seized my arm and yanked me back. Apologize to Blair, now. My eyes nearly popped. Why me? She's the one who acted like a bitch. Avery. He barked my name again, patience shattered. I said apologize. Nobody here is going to indulge you. Blair patted his forearm, all delicacy. It's okay. She lost her temper and splashed me. I'm sure she regrets it. I don't mind. I was shaking with rage, but Julian didn't budge, eyes locked on mine. Fine, an apology. I raised my voice. I'm sorry. Then I wrenched free. Happy now? Blair says she banged you in high school and your skills were so lousy she had to coach you. She asked if you could even satisfy well, clearly not, you're worse than a club rant boy. Having had my verbal binge, I sprinted for the door, then spun back. And sorry to your mother. I'll never apologize to a scummy cheat and a skank. You two deserve each other, lock it up and throw away the key. I bolted, leaving Julian's roar echoing behind me. Back at the office I reviewed the file I'd compiled. It documented every sordid twist of Blair and Julian's entanglement, spotlighting Blair's happy homewrecker highlights. The plan had been leveraged to keep her quiet, but now, I closed the laptop. Don't provoke me and I won't strike. If Blair keeps dancing, she'll pay the bill. After that, I tackled the winter coat issue. Julian had ultimately kept Blair from interfering, the factory shipped on schedule. To guard against surprises, I stockpiled extra inventory. Next, I contacted my father's plant about opening a dedicated line just for me, family factory, total peace of mind. Summer introduced 2 reliable freelance apparel designers, low base, commission based. They hustled, delivering a dozen new styles in a month. From suppliers to livestream studio, I was building a full chain. When Mom heard about the new factory, she marched in daily, her crocodile Birkin on her arm, supervising construction. I trust her completely, she'd been vital when Dad first started his business. Before that storm settled, the internet blew up. Blair bought several of my pieces and filmed a takedown. She zeroed in on my hit winter coat. Look, babies, the streamer claimed no lint, yet I hugged my cat once and its fur city. The cut is off too, huge and baggy. I look pregnant. If a perfect-bodied girl like me can't pull it off, imagine you civilians. Swerve, skip it. And these skirts, OMG, seems unraveling straight out of the bag. Quality control? Hello, loose threads everywhere. She capped the rant with a challenge at the end of the clip. Yan Ji Feng. Give me an explanation. You claim to be affordable luxury, but you're scam men. G consumers, $89 for a coat that falls apart after one wear. Refund us now. I watched the entire meltdown video with icy calm. The comment section was a war zone. My livestream studio flooded with trolls slinging every filthy word, all aimed at us. The host's eyes were red from tears, her voice cracking as she tried to keep pitching. Returns were already piling up in the back end. I flicked my wrist and told her to kill the feed and rest. I thought for a moment, then perched in front of the camera myself, laptop balanced on my knees. If we're going to blow this up, let's blow it sky high. Hi everyone, I'm Avery, founder of Yan Ji Feng. I don't accept the so-called review posted by influencer Blair. In my book, it's libel. First, let me clarify our history. Recently, Blair went public about dating Julian of Sterling, and the internet cheered. Unluckily for her, Julian is my ex-fiancé. We were engaged for 3 years. Days before the wedding, Blair, fully aware he was taken, stepped in, snatched the man, and even flaunted my custom sapphire bridal ring. The chat exploded in question marks. Holy crap, that's a blockbuster level twist. Keep talking, keep talking. Plot reversal unlocked. Blair's always flexing $1,000 outfits. Why would she suddenly review a budget coat? The tide turned, I spelled out every dirty detail. The social team, quick on their feet, cut a clip the second I finished. Scandal, million-follower blogger homewrecker? The internet never lacks popcorn eaters. Views climbed past 10,000 before I blinked. An hour later, 50K likes, 170K shares. The ops lead stared at the dashboard, eyes popping. Tsunami-level traffic, Avery. We've freaking blown up. Avery. Ah. We gained 50,000 followers overnight. Where's the host? Is she calm? Get her back on and sell, sell, sell. Let's call tonight's series The First Wife Wardrobe, dedicated to slapping mistresses. Those shouts lit a fire under the whole crew. The host came back pumped, hype squad in overdrive. Alright ladies, feast your eyes on our winter blockbuster coat, the very one the mistress tried to trash. Check the cut. So, babies, cute or not? Gorgeous. Mistresses, scum or not? Total scum. Then do we buy this coat? Yes. The host spun to show the back, still gushing. Sisters, welcome to the First Wife Wardrobe. Own this coat, stay on the right path, protect your marriage, happiness guaranteed. Today we stand our ground, no mistress walks over us. I watched orders snowball while the PowerPoint on my laptop stayed unpublished. I waited, black fame is still fame, and the deck is loaded with receipts. Dropping it now would bloody the waters. Better to save it as ammo for tomorrow's live. We didn't sign off until every last coat was gone, courtesy of Blair's stunt. Offline, I rang the factory immediately. Keep the line running, we're still taking orders. Online, the mess blazed on. Blair hired armies of bots to scrub her name, but their posts sank without a ripple. Her own comment section, on the other hand, turned into a sewage pipe. Most of her million followers are women, and women have zero tolerance for homewreckers. By dawn she'd shed 200,000 of them. 3 a.m. and Blair was still active. I smiled like a cat in cream. Pretty sure she wouldn't be getting any sleep tonight. I treated myself to a gorgeous full night's sleep. When I woke I posted the PowerPoint, tagging Blair and our store account. An hour later we went live, and the traffic waterfall hit all over again. That night an unexpected call slid through. "Hey, Avery." Julian sounded exhausted. "I just found out. I'm sorry it spiraled this far. I'll handle Blair." I didn't really care, I answered flatly, "Fine." Honestly, the only thing spiraling was our order count. In truth, I wouldn't mind if she kept dancing. Controversy converts to cash. Between the salacious scandal and Julian's marquee name, I had at least N days of runway left. "Congratulations on the new company. I wish you every success." I stared at the phone, puzzled. He was fishing for small talk. "Yeah, I'm hanging up now. Wish you and Blair every happiness." Julian gave a dry laugh. "Avery, there is no her and me. Not my circus, not my monkeys." I ended the call and dialed the factory immediately after. The second that call dropped, my mother rang, voice bubbling. "Oh, Avery, Mommy's found you a business partner, the Kensington heiress, Jade. You girls played together when you were tiny, remember?" Next day we met. Jade showed up in a cream power suit, black hair in soft waves, makeup bold and immaculate. She stretched out her hand. "Hi, I'm Jade." "Hello." She motioned for me to sit. "Auntie raves about you, model kid, works like a mule, destined for greatness." She filled me in on your brand. Yan Jifeng is pushing affordable luxury women's wear, so I figure fabric must be your pain point. Lucky me, I own a mill. I arched a brow. "Quality?" "Top tier," she said, flicking her brow. "Best you'll find, and I can give you a friendly price." I lifted my glass, smile widening. "Then here's to us." To us. With supply secured, the road ahead was clear. Keep selling and the money would roll in. Back at the office, Ops shouted, "Hey, Avery, Blair just apologized. She's quitting the internet, nuked her million-follower account." That knocked me sideways. Julian keeps his word. Once he decides to end something, it ends. But I never thought he could make Blair erase herself. Influencing was her only paycheck apart from him. Seems the white moonlight really does dry into a boring rice grain. The following weeks blurred into one long sprint. Before I knew it, Lunar New Year was breathing down our necks. Summer dragged me out for hot pot. We ordered the extra spicy broth. I dunked a ribbon of fatty beef, took a bite and groaned, "God, I needed this." You have no idea, lately I shovel 2 forkfuls and sprint back to my desk. So damn good, I rambled, already fishing for the next slice. She rolled her eyes. "Who knew you'd turn into a workaholic?" Then her voice dropped to gossip octave. "Did you hear about Blair at last night's gala?" I sipped my Coke. Julian showed up with his female assistant, no Blair on his arm. Blair crashed the party, slapped the assistant, screaming homewrecker. I snorted. And? Dignity went nuclear on the spot, turned sheet white, chewed her out in front of everyone. Rumor is he's booting her from the Hamptons estate. In the old days I'd been Julian's +1, when I couldn't make it, the assistant filled in, standard practice. Blair treating that as seduction and making a scene? Amateur hour. Word is Julian hates calculating women. After he learned she'd framed me, he flew overseas and froze her out for weeks. The Sterlings never gave her an inch. Blair got a mouthful of bitter pill she can't spit out. Their fairy tales curdled, nothing like the soap opera they used to star in. After hot pot we hit a bar for margaritas, and ran straight into Julian. He was alone in a booth, nursing a tumbler of whiskey. When he spotted me, his eyes lit up, he lifted a hand in invitation. "Drinks?" Before I'd even sat down, he had already opened a bottle and slid it toward me. I shook my head. "Pass. You've got a girlfriend now, and I'm not in the mood for Blair to storm over and slap me." He went quiet for a beat, then said flatly, "We've split." "Then we still don't need a drink." I grabbed Summer and left. We'd barely settled when my phone pinged. Julian had wired me $5.2 million. Summer rolled her eyes. "What kind of stunt is this? Doesn't he know late-stage devotion is cheaper than grass?" I ignored it. Like he was insane, I turned around and wired every cent back. Summer and I drank until we were giddy, stumbled to the hotel, and face-planted into sleep. The next thing I knew, Mom was shrieking down the line, "Oh, honey, you finally picked up. Julian's been in a crash, get over here now." "I'll wait at the hospital entrance, hurry." I froze. A crash? Karma works that fast? Outside the hospital I waited in the car, bored. Mom had rushed me, yet she was the one taking forever. I'd already killed half an hour. Finally she and Dad showed up, the trunk crammed with gift baskets. I hoisted too. "I'm freezing, let's move." Go, what floor? 6, I think. At the ward we found only Blair. Julian was off getting scans. The moment she saw me, her eyes blazed red and she lunged. Bitch! This is your fault. You won't stay dead. Mom stepped between us and shoved her back. Who let this psycho in? Hands off my daughter. Security! Get this nutcase out. Hands on hips, Mom kept yelling. Blair hit the floor, still screeching. If it weren't for you, Julian would never have dumped me. You seduced him, why keep meddling? I felt only bafflement. Weren't you the one who took the money and ran? And newsflash, you're the mistress here. Mistress? Mom's ears perked up, she whipped around. So this is Julian's first love? I nodded. Yep. Next second Mom charged, grabbed Blair's hair, and cracked a slap across her face. Skank, wrecking my daughter's marriage. I spent ages getting them engaged, one step from being a society matron and you ruin it. I'll teach you to bully my baby and smash my jackpot dream. Between curses, Mom kept swinging, Blair held. She bellowed back, you think Julian's some prize? Eyeing the bowl while chewing the pot, if he were loyal, could I even get in? Blame him. She wasn't wrong. After Julian and I split, I dug into Blair. Turns out she's a professional mistress. She could have used the payoff to build a life, but once abroad she latched onto a married mogul. Years of rotating sugar daddies ended with a wronged wife putting a bounty on her head. She fled home. Back in Manhattan only weeks, she sank her claws into Julian again. Avery, listen, Julian crashed protecting me. He cares, he can't quit me. You'll never win. B. For she could finish, Mom slapped her again. My kid may not beat you, but I sure can. I frowned at the circus. When Mom seemed vented, I tugged her back. Enough, Mom, we're in a hospital. Mom finally stepped away, landing a parting kick. When she straightened, she froze. I followed her gaze. Julian sat in a wheelchair, the entire Sterling clan behind him. How long they'd watched, I couldn't tell. Mom quickly beamed. Oh, I heard this girl caused his crash, just teaching her a lesson. She shrank behind me, guilt written all over her face. Beating someone in their hospital room is poor form. I braced for Julian's wrath, but he only fixed Blair with an icy stare. Get out. I never want to see you again. Mom and I exchanged looks. The butler strode over and hauled Blair out. She clung to the wheelchair, wailing, no. Julian, you can't. Don't throw me away, I love you. Professional mistresses don't love, they love money, right? Julian peeled her fingers off one by one. Cold. Determined. Her sobs faded down the corridor. Julian looked at me. Everyone out. I need to talk to Avery alone. Reluctant, they filed out and shut the door. Head lowered, he seemed to gather courage. I knew what was coming, so I spoke first. Julian, don't tell me you want me back. A long pause, then a muffled, yeah. Avery, I dated Blair to spite you. We're wrong for each other, please forgive me. I laughed in disbelief. Spite? I bruised your ego, so you used Blair for a band-aid, only she was tacky, burning cash and clinging, embarrassing you. Now you remember my value. But take me back and you'll soon miss her perfume. Proximity smells sweet, distance stinks. Julian, you love neither of us. You love yourself. The words landed like ice picks. Staring at his broken leg, Julian covered his face and sobbed. I'm sorry. I know I screwed up, Avery. Seeing him broken, the knot in my chest loosened. I exhaled long and slow. Julian, don't ever say that again, it cheapens every promise you ever made. I turned to leave. As I passed, he caught my hand. I stopped, neither looking back nor speaking. After an eternity, he let go. After New Year's my factory was finished and a new livestream studio launched, business on fire. At the ribbon cutting I used recent profits to buy Mom a brand new Birkin, 130 grand. She grinned ear to ear. Next day she paraded it around town. She came back glowing. Avery, half the society wives couldn't score that bag, such face. People asked about your love life. I said forget marriage, just crank out cash. Haha, imagine you and Dad both supporting me, pure bliss. We laughed together. Now Mom had dropped her bias, no longer obsessed with nabbing a crown. Maybe she was tired, maybe she felt old. I teased, Mom, quit climbing, soon I'll be the branch you rest on. She doubled over laughing. Suddenly she lowered her voice. Remember Blair? Word is she's a mess. The girls say she's someone's mistress again, got pregnant, flaunted it to the wife. That woman beat her till she miscarried, might never conceive again. Mom clicked her tongue. Karma. Then she asked, you really won't forgive Julian? Nope. I spotted the new bracelet on her wrist. She hurriedly hid it. Well, the boy didn't ask me to persuade you, just a gift. Under my stare, she finally stamped her foot. Fine, I'll return it. From now on, my daughter buys my bling. Deal. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the story, like and share with friends. We'd love to hear your take in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.